The Oklahoma City Thunder kick off their 2019-2020 NBA season tonight as they take on the Utah Jazz in Utah. It's a little bit of a switch up for that Oklahoma City fan base. For the last few years, they've been in go mode, all in on Russell Westbrook in the triple-double, or all in on this team trying to contend in the playoffs. And it just ain't worked out for the OKC Thunder. So Sam Presti and company, they're like, you know what? Nope. Let's rebuild this thing from the ground up. Let's do it all over. Let's trade Paul George. Let's trade Russell Westbrook. Let's accumulate a lot of assets, draft picks, and all that great stuff. And let's just do this thing over, all right? Now, though, in the midst of these trades, the Thunder, they get some really good pieces for the right now. Again, probably doesn't mean the playoffs, or they're probably not going to be a good team, but you get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a lot of picks. You get Danio Gallinari. Chris Paul's there now. I mean, these are some players that have been proven in this league, and Gilgeous-Alexander's on the way up. So you got some pieces, but let's be real. This team in that tough Western Conference, they ain't doing no damage. Chris Paul's 34 years old. I mean, the dude wasn't able to stay healthy in Houston, excuse me. I don't believe he's going to be able to stay healthy when he's going to have more of a workload night in, night out in OKC. I just don't believe it, man. I think his body has deceived him. Maybe he took the diet more serious this summer, but I just think it might be a little too late for CP3 Hall of Famer to be. Now, there are reports out there, according to Kevin O'Connor over at The Ringer, that the OKC Thunder do have a plan for two of those guys that I mentioned, and Chris Paul and Danio Gallinari, who did average 19 points and 6 rebounds last year for the Clippers. Their plan is to trade both of these guys if the deal comes about this season. All right, look, for Gallinari, you could potentially get a couple picks, second-round picks, maybe even a late first, and depending on where a playoff team's at and how he's showing his game has progressed this season, where he's at with it this season. And Chris Paul is going to be tougher to trade. He's still got 3 years left, $124 million on that deal. That's like $40-something million a year. Between that and that John Wall contract, the worst contract in the NBA. But the OKC Thunder do have a plan to trade both of these guys at some point. They're waiting on teams essentially to lose somebody for the season. And I hate to put this out in the atmosphere, but the Thunder's best, to be honest with you, the best scenario for them to trade Chris Paul with that type of money left on his deal is for a team that's a playoff contending team that's championship level, pretty much if they lose their point guard. So like the Clippers, or he wouldn't go back to Los Angeles, but let's say like the Lakers lose Rondo and lose another guard, and I don't know. If there were a team out there where it made sense, if they think they were right there to get over the hump for a championship, because you got to bring in $40-some million a year for the next 3 years. That's a lot of money. So there would have to be a team that's desperate or really believe one more piece could guarantee them a championship, because you're going to go way over the luxury tax. Pretty much every team would if they brought on Chris Paul. It could be done via trade. Maybe a team out there with a trade exception to help out a little bit, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to go way over into that luxury tax if you bring in Chris Paul. So you got to pretty much know for sure you get into the damn finals. So that's pretty much what the Thunder will be waiting on. Gallinari is a little more tradable than CP3. Contract's a little more friendly. He's a little more agile at this point in his career, honestly, than Chris Paul. We will see, but the Thunder, according to The Ringer, their minds are focused on letting these guys play their hearts out and making a move for them. And if Steven Adams is in the mix as well, having another good season, they might even move on from him. They're looking to stockpile picks, find ways to get their hands on some of these great young talents that are coming out in the next 5-6 years. The Imani Bates of the world, the Mikey Williamses of the world, some of these great players that are going to be in college next year. That's where their focus is at. They don't give a damn about any win-loss in OKC this season. That's just where their mind's at. They've tried the championship thing. Now let's start it over and just build this next group up and see, maybe 5-10 years from now we'll have the recipe for a ring. You into sports, we got you. NFL news, I got you. NBA news, NBA highlights, NBA full coverage, feature stories, all that great stuff, I got you. We even got a little bit of Madden and 2K mixed in. Subscribe to this platform, and I got you. More quality content on the way. Subscribe.